So you're thinking of getting into the film and TV industry. Well, I probably wouldn't. And it's pretty obvious to see why. I mean, the games industry is bigger and it makes more money compared to film and TV. And even with all that, the job market is still dog shit. So you can imagine how it is in film. It's just math is math, right? But I have a few other reasons why you'd be better off in the games industry versus film. So the way I see the film industry is there's either animation or traditional filmmaking. Like, and the good thing about animation is that it's like easy to pivot from games. So if your career flops like Concord, right, at least you have second chance pro. And because that answers that, I'll be talking about issues in traditional filmmaking. You know, like going out in real life, going outside and seeing the sun, maybe appreciating the Southern Cross constellation in the night sky. And for those of you who don't know me, I originally went to uni for a film and TV course. And mind you, at the time I was like 19 and very naive, man. And I guess we all are at that age. But even back then, I could see just how many problems there were. And it's not that I necessarily had really bad experiences. I just didn't feel much satisfaction. Like, I didn't get the feeling that, yeah, I want to keep doing this for the rest of my life. And I actually figured out why. I never felt like I had enough control when I was making my own indie films. Like, I always felt there was too many external factors at play. Like, let's just say you're making a simple film, and you have like two main characters, and something happens and they react to it. That's your story, for instance. The acting will make or break your film. And all right, if you want good actors, you're gonna have to pull out some money. And as an indie filmmaker, great. Like the first thing you're doing is starting your own business straight away. Eh, Like at least in games, you can sort of circumvent that, and you can kind of do everything yourself. And I know what you're maybe thinking, like, oh, just use your mates to act. Look, my mates aren't fucking actors, all right? They're probably gonna do all right, but they're not fucking, they're not Leonardo DiCaprio or Josh Hutcherson. And then, okay, assuming even you get paid actors right, you still got to deal with their schedules. Like you'll constantly get all the time. Oh, it's my nonna's birthday on Saturday, but and then coincidentally, that's like the one day of the week where the weather's actually good, right? And then, oh man, the weather can just ruin so many fucking things. Like, especially if you live where I do, where we have a saying, where it's like you get all four seasons in the one day, or even the 1 hour, honestly. And not even the pros are exempt from this, you know. There's this scene in Better Call Saul. I'll show it. It's Nacho's death, and just have a look, and you'll see exactly what I mean.
Him? You think the chicken man?
See how it goes from like really sunny, and then in the previous shot it was like overcast, and like this is just what happens, you know. They're in somewhere in bloody, I don't know if they're actually filming in the location they're meant to be in New Mexico, but yeah, obviously some cloud cover came and ruined it. I don't know, maybe this could be on a separate day, maybe. But still, like this happens all the time, especially where I'm from. And it's not like it really, it's not like it really ruins the the scene, right? But when you're like a filmmaker, like and like once you see it, you can't unsee it. It's funny. It's almost like they filmed this scene in America and then they took the entire set and then they rebuilt it in
Him?
England. You know, wait, there you go. Like that's just like England weather. But that's what I mean by weather, and it's just annoying. Also, has anyone had to deal with university security getting real bitchy? It's like they constantly like you'll have your camera and you'll start shooting, and it's like they come up to you and it's like, "Oi, Stooge, do you have consent forms, bruh? We're outside on public land. We don't need them." You know, I understand if you're like inside a building and you start doing stuff. It's public land. We shouldn't need them. Like I don't understand. Just like it's just so fucking annoying. And bro, so what I want you to remember is I'm not an expert on. I never portray myself as an expert, so you don't have to take my advice. And if any of you are currently in the films industry, actually let me know how you're going. I'm curious to know how that's going for you. All right, and now that that's out of the way, I actually have a bonus university story to share. So back when I was in my first semester, I had this narrative design teacher who he was so bad at his job. You would think being a narrative teacher, you'd know how to write a story. Dude hadn't published anything in his life. And like, it's one thing to get a job without a portfolio. Me. But to be a teacher with that one, like that is so sketchy. And I only know this because some 60-year-old base dude in my class fucking asked, right? One thing that I've noticed as I've gotten older is that older people just don't give a shit, right? And they get straight to the point. And that actually taught me a lot more about life than the class ever did. You know, it's good to ask questions and question everything, especially new shit. And also something that I've noticed is that the older I've gotten, I've started to see things like a little more from an outside perspective. Like whenever I see two people argue, I try to find out as much as I can about both sides, even if one of the sides is like my best mate and the other guy is a random. And you know, I can feel the progress because if you go back to when I was 18, bloody, I signed up for a gym membership within 30 minutes of touring the building. You know, even now that I've learned all this stuff, I feel like I've still got so much more to learn. But anyways, back to the story. The narrative teacher, when he was asked this, he responded with something along the lines of, "Oh, I haven't published anything yet, though I did graduate here a couple of years ago, but I got high distinctions in my grades." And this is exactly why I think grades mean jack shit, right? Like, how funny is it when you see everyone in high school going so fucking try hard in their assignments and SACs and their exams, right? Getting the best grade just to go to some uni and get a fancy schmancy $20,000 plus piece of paper, and that just builds up dust in the closet. Yep. I have another quick story about grades, actually. So during that same year, I had this marketing class, and I had a mate in there, and he got so tilted, right? During one of the assignments, he got marked down from a high distinction to just a regular distinction. And the reason was so fucked up. He forgot to put a full stop in his Harvard reference. It was fucking hilarious seeing him confront the teacher about it, man. Like, he was trying not to show, like, that he was upset about it, but you could just fucking sense it in the air. Oh, so funny. And too long, I skipped the video to the end because I'm a fuckwit. Personally, I wouldn't get into film and TV. But if you want to do it, I'd maybe consider the animation pathway, because then at least you can always transition into games. And I would honestly recommend, if you're thinking about going into university, ditch it, self-teach, and make some ripper content, man. Cheers, bros, and see you later. Got something to expose? Call the Spillato Bros.